This is Abigail. She's always hated being disabled.
Every single year, Christmas and birthday lists, the top one is not to be disabled.
All she has ever wanted is to be able to walk.
She crawls on the floor, and she really doesn't like crawling on the floor. At 9 years old, she wants to be upright like we all are.
Now her dream could be about to come true. Abigail is to undergo a radical surgical procedure which has helped hundreds of children with cerebral palsy to walk. Everything is at stake.
Last 6 months have been...
Last 6 months have been very, very stressful to get to this point. But this is what Abigail wants. This is what she's dreamed for. And until we found out about this, there was no hope. And at least now we have a bit of hope.
To find that hope, Abigail's family has had no other choice but to travel to the United States. Here at the St. Louis Children's Hospital, one man has spent nearly 25 years refining a pioneering technique.
I have done over 2,000 children from some 43 countries. We deliver and we improve the quality of life of the child and the parents.
There are hundreds of children across the UK who could benefit from this surgery, but the NHS has been reluctant to fund or develop it.
The NHS has treated families with children with cerebral palsy absolutely terribly.
But things could be about to change. Beau Britton is hoping to become the first child to undergo the groundbreaking surgery here in this country.
He's unable to stand or walk independently on his own. So I'm hoping he'll be able to gain a little bit more freedom and a little bit more independence in his everyday life.
This is the story of two children, each with a dream of walking unaided for the first time.
Well done. You were right, you know. You have made me proud.
Dad, give me the...
It's summer 2010, and Abigail's sister is raising funds to help send her to America. And Abigail is lending a hand.
Abigail's just an amazing child. She's talkative, she's sympathetic. Her sense of humour is incredible. She's just a lovely little girl.
Abigail was born 14 weeks early by emergency caesarean when her mother Carrie developed liver failure. She weighed just 1 pound 3 ounces.
When I think back to looking at her in her incubator and wondering what sort of person she would be, I never dreamed she would have the, well, just, yeah, her character is just incredible. She has a real thirst, a real hunger for life.
Her premature birth left Abigail with spastic cerebral palsy. It's made every step a struggle, and her life one long fight against disability.
I feel lonely. I feel angry about it sometimes. I feel cross when I don't want to shout. I feel teary and sad. I don't really like being defeated by illness.
I don't think you are defeated, because every illness you've had, you've got better from, haven't you?
Yeah.
At her home in Bradley Stoke on the edge of Bristol, Abigail depends on help from her family for nearly everything she does.
Right, Abigail, good to go.
She needs special transport to attend her local primary school, and she has an assistant alongside her throughout the day.
Good girl, your spelling is fantastic today, you're on fire.
I've got 9 out of 10.
She also helps Abigail with her physiotherapy.
Lovely walking, Abby. Well done. I've known Abigail now for 5 years since she joined school. She is the most loveliest little girl in the world. See how long you can hold your balance for. You ready? Okay. You're going to count in Spanish?
1, 2, 3, 4.
My wish for her is that following this operation that she can do all those things that she yearns for.
The operation Abigail faces is called selective dorsal rhizotomy, or SDR. It involves testing which spinal nerves are causing the stiffness and painful tension in the legs,
We'll leave this one.
and then cutting the roots.
We'll cut number 2.
The original basic procedure has been around for years, but there have been concerns it's too invasive and risks causing spinal deformity in later life. So here at the St. Louis Children's Hospital in Missouri, Dr. T.S. Park and his team have spent years improving the SDR technique.
We made it basically much less invasive. And as a result, we can use this operation on all the children. So we can benefit more patients.
Dr. Park has so refined the procedure, he can now perform up to 3 operations in a day with remarkable results.
The big advantage of this surgery is if the child or anybody has a spasticity, they cannot do the regular exercise because as they move fast, muscles get tighter and tighter. All right, let me have a 15 blade. This procedure, rhizotomy, is the only procedure that can reduce spasticity permanently.
But Dr. Park's version of SDR has not been used in the UK, and parents say few are told about it by the NHS. Abigail's family found out from a friend.
You know, I couldn't believe that there was something that could change our lives so dramatically, and we're not doing it here. I can't fault the treatment that Abigail has received from the moment she arrived into this world. It's been incredible. But we just want the best for our daughter. And if that means carting her across the Atlantic to give her a better future and a more independent life, then that's what we're going to do.
More than 70 children like Abigail have travelled to St. Louis from the UK, each raising around £40,000 for the operation and aftercare in America themselves.
Right.
For Beau Britton from Kelly Bray in Cornwall, everything rests on the operation coming to the UK.
How's your foot feeling in that one? Is that okay?
His parents are desperate for him to have the SDR procedure.
He's unable to stand or walk unaided. He needs splints to walk with his little walker or with quadrupods. With aid, he can do a short distance of walking, but it's very laboured, it's very intense. And basically what we're hoping is that by having the selective dorsal rhizotomy, it will enable him to be able to stand, hopefully independently.
Like Abigail, Beau was born prematurely.
There was no particular reason why, just started a spontaneous labour, and he sustained a bilateral bleed in the brain, we believe during the birth, and was diagnosed at 3 weeks with bilateral brain damage.
Beau defied the doctor's initial fears that he would be unable to walk at all.
However, that was the worst case scenario. As you can see, he's actually a lot better than expected. We've been really lucky that he's managed to achieve a lot of the goals in life, even though a bit slower than somebody else.
It was only when Beau started at his local primary school that he realised how much tougher life is for him.
So he came home one day and was very upset because he couldn't play football. And he said, why can't I play football? Followed by, why can't I run? Why can't I walk? And it was one of the first times we've sort of had the conversation with him. He understands entirely about cerebral palsy and brain damage and what happened when he was a baby, and we've been very honest and talk all the way through it. We're not expecting a magic wand, but we do hope that he will be able to one day stand up and walk, even with aid, more comfortably.
So why hasn't Dr. Park's procedure been available in the UK? NICE, the National Institute for Health and Clinical Excellence, publishes guidance for the NHS. In 2006, it gave only a guarded assessment of SDR. Parents claim that the NHS has all but ignored the US operation.
It's like they're putting up a brick wall straight away. It's just not being brought to people's attention, and they think they know best with their treatments, and they don't want to support us to get our children to be able to live a better life after SDR.
It's autumn 2010. At Frenchay Hospital in Bristol, the first steps are being taken to bring Dr. Park's procedure to the UK. Christian Aquilina is a consultant neurosurgeon. He's been appointed to develop the operation. He trained in the new SDR technique in America and has studied Dr. Park at work.
And I must say, the effect it has on children is quite remarkable. It clearly does make a huge difference in the way they walk, and the way they can carry themselves, and also because they become much more confident in their general well-being.
But for the procedure to work, there has to be intensive aftercare, and the funding is not yet in place.
The surgery itself is not particularly expensive. It's fairly basic neurosurgery. What may be a little bit more expensive is the physiotherapy and the long-term rehabilitation they need.
These doubts over funding mean it could be months before the first operation can take place.
Too late for Abigail, but I still think thousands upon thousands of people will benefit if this is one day available here.
In the meantime, children like Toby Cox from Bristol are proving the worth of Dr. Park's procedure. 5 months after Toby's operation in the US, Abigail is paying a visit to see what she can expect.
Look at your legs go! Oh my goodness me! That is quite incredible!
He hasn't used his wheelchair in weeks and weeks and weeks. During the day at school, he walks everywhere.
You show Abigail how tiny your little scar is.
Go on, Toby.
Oh my goodness, that's the tiny little cut that they make. Yes, and that's the bit that has changed Toby's life forever.
Toby he said things are a lot easier when you're not tight, is what he said, which, you know, we can't understand how he feels, but just saying that makes you understand that, you know, everything every day was so difficult for him. And now it's that much easier.
It's December 2010, and Abigail's family have made the long trip to the Children's Hospital in St. Louis.
All down. Go on, it's horrible. Quick, keep going, 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 keep going. Yeah, that's my star girl.
The operation will take up to 5 hours, and Abigail will stay in hospital for 5 days.
She'll be really sleepy when you see her next time. She'll have a lot of medicine on board, and you can pretty much plan on that being the case for about the next day.
Dr. Park will be operating in a small area close to the end of Abigail's spinal cord.
X marks the spot. All right, good job.
Toddy, if you're going to say goodbye to Abigail, you need to do it now.
She knows exactly what the procedure involves and what it could mean for her chances of leading a more normal life.
This is going to be the start of the rest of your life. Yeah? A start of being less disabled than you are now, okay? It's what we've wanted. Yeah, it's what you've always wished for. So it's not a time to be sad. It's a time to celebrate the rest of your life.
Life will guide you, and